Anywho, the job I was speaking about that I left in the last video was like I've had jobs where like maybe I've had like two experiences in my whole life where the workplace was just absolutely toxic. It's not enough help videos out there to get certain people out of certain situations. I mean, everybody's situation is different. Sometimes you get a worse attack in a workplace because sometimes people get jealous of you, or sometimes they want to point you out so that they don't have to look at the stuff they do. One of many reasons, like, you could get attacked. Also, here's another reason: you make them uncomfortable about themselves when they get around you. Let me explain. I had this idea in my head that, I'm not gonna like go to work and tell people my business. But being I like to talk, if there's something good that happens in my life and there were other people around who were in the same situation and they were supposed to be happy, you would think they'd be happy, right? Not necessarily. Let me explain. The beginning of working there, or whatever, like that, a little, maybe like a year after me working there, or a few months, I became single. From wearing my engagement ring to work to fighting with the decision to give it back, because I'm not gonna live a lie for nobody. If they don't, if I'm not happy in something, I'm not gonna stay in something just to keep a ring on my finger and be like trying to look good for other people. Bump that. You can look at me however you want to. It'll be a Chrisette Michelle type of thing. It'll be like you can say whatever you like. Long as y'all say goodbye. It didn't matter. Long as it's over. I was in that type of mode. So you had coworkers that'd be like, oh, they automatically think it's you when the ring is not on your finger anymore. Nah, yeah, it could have been me. Yeah, deciding I wasn't gonna put up with BS. So I walked around for a whole year single, shooting people down like, nope, 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 not here for that, not here for that, not here for that. And they saw that. And then out of the blue, a year later, they watched me for a whole year be single. Couple of little entertainment, like conversations, like, oh, okay, whatever. But it'd be like, somebody want to exchange numbers? No, no, mm-mm. If I'm sitting here telling you that I'm to myself and I like being to myself, not gonna happen. But something did happen. And this was a person I saw maybe when I was like going through my transition of separating. So I didn't say anything. I didn't talk to the person. I didn't anything. Nothing like that. It was basically on a high and by thing. So they start seeing this person come and bring me coffee from Starbucks. Go and bring little stuff like couples do, like go bring me this, that. Or if I had a headache or something like that and I needed some medicine, it was brought to me. Certain little things, but these were around people that seemingly were supposedly happy. One of them that pretended, like when you find out their shit, you will see why you get attacked sometime. Sometimes people could be looking at what's going on the outside and they can be thinking that it's all well and good, like the past situation, and they want to hate you and say, oh, we did a breakup spell. I've been having problems for years before I even knew y'all. So I doubt this is something that you could have done. Not a chance. Especially if I'm the one who initiated the breakup. Come on now. 。 . 。 . 。 . 。. . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . 。 . . . . . . . . . . . . . . .
。
The thing is, they started, making little, it started out with snide little comments. Oh, well, my boyfriend own a company and he's this and that. And I was just like, didn't you tell me you was a mistress? And that's the only reason you allowed to stay because of y'all's love child? They got my same birthday? So don't be sitting there acting like you happy. I'm like, don't you want something you ain't gotta hide from everybody? Don't you like being a secret lover? Like, respect yourself. She took the advice at first for maybe a week or two. Next thing you know, she right back at it. Because I was like, y'all saw me do it and I'm younger than you. So if I could sit up here and find some things to do, find some things that I like, you can too. And I started pointing out the good in her, telling her all the stuff that I saw with her, pointing it out to be like, look, you're good at this, you're good at this, you're good at this, you're good at that. But sometimes it's not enough to point out good to somebody, because if they don't believe in themselves, they're not going to do it. Period. So the attacks started amping up. They would see me leave work or the person to come pick me up, whatever like that. And it was always like, this phone I'm sitting here recording on right now was a present from the person. And since he liked to pop up and just do little things like that, it's like I never quite told him that, hey, all the nice you're doing is making them mad and jealous. I never asked this person to do these things in front of people, but it's like, hey, when you put out good in secret to a lot of people and you get used, abused, thrown under the damn bus and the train or whatever like that, you really can't stop the good coming back to you. But people can do stuff to try to prolong it. They could try, but it's not going to work. So the attacks amped up. I had one girl always telling me, I'm a Christian and da 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 da, and doesn't make sense. You're not even a Christian. You don't even believe in anything. So how are you getting blessed? How are you getting blessed? How are you? I was like, you know what? Maybe you need to dig into what give me some scripture. I told her, give me scripture. Give me something that's going to help me. Tell me something. She's like, well, I don't really know. We just go to church and we sing songs and we do this and that. So basically what you're telling me is you go with your titties hiked up, with your 3 inches above the knees dress on and your stilettos, and throw a choir robe on and just start singing. How should I? How should I? Just because you walk around and you have this appearance, and I made a video about that, something along them lines about being vain, with that being a spiritual thing, not just an outside thing. So this woman got super angry, and they started running to the owner, the racist owner that, and telling them everything oh, well, she's walking around here always smiling now. She's always happy and this and this and this or whatever. And it really hurt this damn owner. Why would it hurt you that bad? You're married, but you don't like your situation. And you constantly tell me that I remind you of your wife, so you just kind of treat me like shit. Remind him of his wife in the means of how my personality is and how when I make my mind up about something, and just basically how I do everything in general. He basically said we're twins in a different body, according to him. And that let me know how he really felt about his wife by the way he was treating me. So I ain't in that situation no more. I'm going to just tell you what happened, and I'm going to tell you how I got out of it. In detail. Well, it was basically like it amped up. And the manager, owner, whatever, saw my guy walk in, stood up in his face, shook his hand, and was like, "Hey, you came to take Karina away?" Because he looked like police with his uniform. So it was like, "Oh, okay, we're gonna call police to take you away from for doing this or doing that." It's like you don't even make jokes with black people about police, because then something happened. Before all that, from the last video that I told y'all about before this one, what I didn't tell y'all, what I written, like, I don't even see how this even got left out of the other video, but I'm gonna say it here. When that man started taking money from me, everything he bought with that money fucking didn't work. It broke. He bought a new car. Somebody stole it out of his yard. The restaurant got robbed a total of maybe 2 times. The first time it got robbed was maybe 6 months after I've been there. And so he says, "Oh, we're going to get all the employees fingerprinted to make sure that it wasn't anybody here that done anything." And it's like, okay. It never happened. They never done that. It was basically like a scare tactic. I didn't even flinch. I'm like my da da da. I'm not gonna call myself dumb. I'm gonna say da 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 da. Like, I wasn't even thinking at the time that he would be like, "Oh, somebody here did it. Oh, because y'all know black people steal." Are you fucking shitting me? A lot of people go through the shit they go through because they judging people based on what they look like, not the personality. If I'm gonna say something about somebody, I'm gonna say something because you have shown me your personality. I give no fucks what you look like. So the second time they got robbed was like maybe a year before I left. Somebody did have you seen that movie with Jack Nicholson, where he had where he had the axe and was like chopping through the door and like, "Here's Johnny." Somebody really did that shit. Movie style. Bust the office door like open, chopped it down to the lock, went in and took the safe. They went in, tried to grab the cash register. It was glass and dirt everywhere, all over the whole place. They got robbed 3 times. Every time this man kept doing shit to me, he was so silly. He didn't even understand. Now, the first time it happened, he hadn't done shit to me. So that leads me to believe that the things that I've heard from past workers that work there about why it's best to stay away, it was like some get out shit, according to how they were saying it. So when you see certain establishments, and this is in a neighborhood where robberies just don't happen like that. This was in a neighborhood where it just don't go down like that. The third time, they bust open a side door, like they knocked out a whole window pane and somebody crawled in. Because it looked like a piece of clothing, like string was like still hooked on it, like they had on a t-shirt or something. They broke the window, crawled in, went in the office, found out there were no safe. And we don't know what happened next. They didn't take anything because there was no money to be had. Then this employer would not pay us if we made tips on credit cards for one day, he would not pay us. He would basically be like, well, you know what? When people pay cash, we'll pay you. They kept it written down in the book. They always kept losing the book. They kept trying to get over. I've never worked at a place like that. And that was even before they got robbed. And it's like this. The fuckery amped up. After the fuckery amped up, people outside playing so much. But that was like after everything that the fuckery started amping up. So coworkers like couldn't take it, couldn't stand me being happy, and just good things happening to me out of the blue. Like, I think the last thing that I remember happening at that job before I left, it was like, usually when the people come in with red bags, we think it's DoorDash, okay? So there was a woman, she came in with a red bag. And she was like, I have a delivery. I need somebody to sign for it. And I'm like, okay, cool. I can sign for it. Who is it for? She said, Karina. And I'm like, for me? What is it? She had like took it out of another bag, a coal bag, and she took it out, and it was one of those big red things from Edible Arrangements that was sent to me from the person that I'm with, and wrote in it, just because. Because I was always getting those little fruit plates from Randall's and stuff like that with the fruit, the cheese, and all that stuff like that. And then I'll get a chocolate candy bar on the side. And I guess he felt like, okay, make sure she don't have to buy chocolate and candy. I'm going to get it for her. I've never been treated like that, like with little stuff. People will say they feel a certain way, but then they don't. And it was nobody there but the cooks and myself, because the way the kitchen is set up, it's like you're here, the kitchen is like behind or whatever like that. So that got all over the whole restaurant. Oh, we heard so-and-so bought you. I'm like, how do y'all be finding this stuff out? How do y'all be hearing? They be like, oh, I wish so-and-so would buy me something. I wish my man would buy me this and buy me that. Don't wish for that. Y'all saw me go through what I went through. Y'all picked and poked fun when I went through my singleness, and I was happy about it, but y'all tried to make me feel bad about it. If not to take shit further, they was like speaking ill and nasty because things amped up. My money started getting funny. It went from $100 a day to $200 a day, all the way down to 40 or 50 a day, 60 a day. And sometimes nobody would come in there and it'd be a $20 a day. So I decided to burn a candle. I decided to burn a reverse curse candle and then an attract. I burned a Jala Jala and another candle on the side. If you have a candle and that whole thing burns all the way down black to the bottom, the whole thing was so black that I could do that, and it was like thick crud. That's how you know somebody sent some shit to you. And not even just that. I was having what do you want to call it? I was having like sinus infection for like months. I had got a sharp pain in the heel of my right heel of my foot. I was getting lightheaded and dizzy, because if somebody putting an attack on you, those are some of the symptoms. Like, you start feeling certain ways out of nowhere. No matter how much I slept, my eyes will always bloodshot red. That's what I was using it as an example. Basically, it's money, peace, love, fast luck. I use this in concordance to whatever I need to do with it. Just whatever. So I had one of these, and then a 7 times reversible, how I like set that shit back because I knew where it was coming from. But I did it with a tiny candle, like one that's about that tall, and then I had the other big ones for backups. And they started, like, when I say started making all kind of problems, I'm talking about people that was associated with me. They tried to do something to where it was like folks couldn't stand to look at me, wouldn't talk, wouldn't this, wouldn't that. Then it got to the point I started going around my person, like complaining all the time about work. And it was like, basically, if you don't like the job, leave the job. So I'm like, I don't know how I'm going to be able to do it. So especially with me being tired and doing all that stuff like that, they try to fight you and try to make you tired to where you can't fight back. Whenever I was at that old job, that owner, manager, whatever, like that, a lot of people practicing stuff on you, doing stuff on you, because ain't no candle gonna turn that black all the way down by somebody just talking about you. They done a ritual on you. Now, you know, when you go to jobs and you take a picture of your ID, like they make copies of your ID, if you have pictures of people or any type of thing that belonged to them or something like that, or you know their fingerprints were all over something all the time because they were always in establishment, there's some crazy ways people can do stuff. Trust me, it's real crazy ways people can do stuff. So for a candle to burn all the way black, thick, all the way down, so every day to just keep the atmosphere like clear. And some other things. You have a right to protect yourself. The moment I left that job, most of the stuff that I had going on with me physically just went away just like that within a matter of a week or two. But I always used to use my context clues. They would always say, oh, you hear people say this in your workplace, know that they wishing bad. Even if they think they not, they are. You're like, I'll get out of here one day. You're like, oh, no, you're not. You're going to be there. You're not going anywhere. He used to always tell me that. He used to always say that. So it was pretty much a fight to get out of there. I've never worked anywhere that people like literally try to chase you down because they felt like they wanted your soul. So if reversing a curse is evil, why did it work and it got the fuck off my tail? Because the ones that was hoping that me and mine separate, these folks have separated from their folks. You know how I know? I just know. Is when you reverse stuff and people try to do it to you and they try to cause arguments or make you fight with a person that you don't argue with or make you just unlikable to everybody that comes around you. It's like they put a dark cloud over you. And you just can't let people do that to you. So you got to do whatever you got to do by any means necessary to get the hell up out of there. Like, we're not going to have a perfect workplace everywhere we go. But the whole point of the matter is that's how I got out. There's plenty of videos on YouTube that'll teach you how to protect yourself with everything like that. Because I guarantee you, if you sit there and be like, no, I'm just going to wait. Okay, you're going to have faith, but you ain't going to put your works to something. A lot of people, like what they do, if they trying to put a death spell on somebody, they gonna wait till the person is weakened. So they do stuff to weaken your mind by saying negative stuff. That's thing number one. They'll set up little booby traps around the job for something to happen to you. That's two. I mean, I literally thought I was gonna like leave my body at work one day. I went to the bathroom to wash my face because I was feeling dizzy because it was so much evilness there. I felt nauseous, just crazy. I was smelling sulfur, all kind of that shit before I sent back what I sent back now. I literally saw an orb in the bathroom and it looked like it wasn't small. It was big like this. It was like behind me and it was like blue lightning, like how you see thunder outside. but there were no windows in the bathroom like that from the way it was positioned. So I knew it wasn't coming from like that. I felt like I was freaking losing it. So I'm like doing stuff like that, you know, they're like, oh, you know, and then they start making comments and say, well, we wonder who's gonna die. You know, they were saying like that shit like that. Like they literally wanted to off me, told me certain shit and didn't even care how it sounded coming out. But I got the last laugh in the end because I'm still more than surviving. I'm like, I don't even see like literally how I got out of that like that. But it's like if you don't never try to search out a truth and find out what's attacking you or why you feel, then that's the longer the attacks are gonna last. So these folks ain't came back like that. And I noticed that when some of my customers have told me, well, since you left, that parking lot is like not as full as it used to be. And I'm like, I didn't even know. Sometimes people will just come back and tell you what's going on with a situation. You ain't even got to ask. And as women say, those folks there look unhappy and stressed out and just, they look like something got a hold of them. So that let me know the reverse works. These people didn't know I was battling witchcraft at a job. And so they had no idea of anything. It's just like that. You can't go around and be like, well, I don't like you, so I'm just going to I want you to throw a curse on you. You can't do that to people. Well, you can, but it's going to come back to you. Yeah. Did we not have this discussion last night? You return evil for good, evil won't leave your house. So that was the craziest demonic attack. And I'm out of it. So I continue to do what I do. And I know that the Creator is in charge of everything. I don't believe in religion. I believe in relationship. And that's just what it is for me. Talk to y'all later. Bye.